Welcome to another episode of The Kitchen Zone. Today we're going to be making shrimp fried rice, and that might sound intimidating to some people, but it isn't very difficult. It isn't difficult to make. It's intimidating to non-Asians maybe to make Chinese food, but it shouldn't be. It's very easy to make, and it's very delicious. Kids like it. Everybody likes it. Good side dish, good main dish. And this happens to be shrimp, but you can make it with other meats or vegetables if you want it. Let's look at the ingredients. First, we have some peas. These happen to be frozen peas. They've been cooked in the microwave. You could use fresh peas. No reason to. These are fine. A couple of eggs. They're going to be scrambled later to go in. One carrot, or less than a whole carrot, diced up. Celery, diced up. Some onion or shallot. That happens to be shallot. I like shallot more than onion. And what else? And then the rice, of course. The rice has been made ahead. It was made yesterday and kept in the refrigerator overnight, so it's dried out completely, which is very, very good for this dish. It doesn't help to use fresh rice. In fact, it's harmful. This is the sauce for it. The sauce is made up of 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and a little black pepper, and then a teaspoon of cornstarch mixed in, 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of water, and you could add chicken broth to that if you wanted a little bit more sauce. But it's a very nice, subtle sauce. It's not overpowering because there are a lot of flavors in this with all the veggies and the rice, and you do want to taste everything. Well, we're heating some butter in the saute pan. This is where we'll put the eggs in. I won't go into details about making scrambled eggs. If you don't know how to scramble eggs, you probably shouldn't be watching a kitchen video to begin with. But we're going to scramble them up as you would for breakfast, and then we'll just leave them in the pan until we're ready to put them into the fried rice. Well, this is my wok. It's an inexpensive wok that I bought at Marshall's, and it's very, very good. It works very, very well. I think it only cost $12. I'm putting a little bit of peanut oil in. I like to use peanut oil because you can heat it up quite hot. It doesn't really burn. It doesn't smoke very much. And it's a nice flavor to almost anything that you add into it. Well, now we're going to add the carrots to the wok. Those are, carrots are hard, so they take a little longer to cook in the wok than the other ingredients, but not much. It only takes about a minute or so, and you don't want them to be soft. You want them to be kind of crunchy and full of flavor, so don't overcook them. And then when you're done with that, you're going to add in the onion. That's another one that takes a few minutes, but not very long at all. The whole cooking process in the wok for the vegetables is really less than 4 or 5 minutes. It doesn't take much time at all. We'll stir that up a little bit, and then we're going to add the celery to that and cook it a little bit. The other vegetable, the peas, will go in virtually when this is done. So there go the celery, the diced celery, into the wok, and we'll stir that up and cook it for, as I said, not very long at all, 4 or 5 minutes. And this is edited, so it may seem faster than that, but probably about 4 minutes. Okay, now so we've got those going pretty nicely. Now we're putting in the shrimp, and the shrimp has been detailed and deveined, peeled, of course. The reason I took the tails off is that this is a casserole kind of dish when you really, whatever you want to call it, so you don't want to be picking the tails of the shrimps off when you are eating it. So, and they saute pretty quickly anyway without the tails, or even with them on, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to cook this for a while. The shrimp doesn't have to be cooked completely, but it should be done about 80% of the way. You'll see when it begins to turn pink. One thing you don't want to do, which is true of shrimp in general, is you don't want to overcook it because it really isn't very good. It gets rubbery, and it's not a pleasant experience eating rubbery shrimp. So the shrimp will stay in there for a few minutes, and we'll just watch it cook. There we go. I'm using that little sort of cake spatula there. It works very well. You can buy an expensive shovel or whatever they call it that works with a wok, but it isn't really necessary. And this is a non-stick wok anyway, so I use plastic or wood in there. But other than that, you could use a wooden spoon. You could really use pretty much anything to stir it around. And we're stir frying it, so you want to move it a little bit, but you don't want to be tossing it constantly. Let it cook a little bit and flip it over. And I don't know if you can notice or not, but the color is already looking beautiful. It's pinkish in places, and it'll cook a little more when we get into the rice portion of this, which will be in a couple of minutes. Well, we're very close to being finished with the vegetables and the shrimp, and as I said, it didn't take very long at all. I'm going to transfer them into a bowl. You can see that purple bowl in the background. I'm going to transfer them into that bowl temporarily so I can cook the rice in the wok. There go the shrimp, and most of them are actually going into the bowl. Some are going into the sink, but that's all right. The pan is still hot, and I'm picking the shrimp out of the sink. Now here goes the rice. This is the cold rice going in. There's oil in there. I'm still sort of de-clumping it, if that's a word. White rice, this is long grain white rice. It tends to clump up when it is cold, but it breaks up very nicely, as you can see. So what we're going to just do now is saute the rice in the peanut oil and some of the flavor from the onion and the carrot and the shrimp and all of that. Some of those juices are in there. But mainly you're just frying the rice. In fact, that's probably why they call this dish fried rice, because you fry the rice. Well, now that's pretty well along there. I am still stirring it and mixing it in with those juices that were in there. And I'm going to add the shrimp back into the rice mixture. That's the shrimp and the vegetables. And I'm just going to basically stir that together and mix it up. After I feel that it's mixed up pretty well, I'm going to add in the peas. And I'm not going to add in all those peas that I showed you. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to put in the scrambled eggs. This is a traditional part of shrimp fried rice or any kind of fried rice. And then those are scrambled, and then I'll sort of break them up so there's little pieces of egg in the mixture. It doesn't take very long. That's all cooked, and everything in there is cooked now. Essentially, this is done. And some people who don't like sauces on things could really eat this just as it is now. But it's much, much better with sauce on it. So I'm going to put in some peas. The peas will go in a little at a time because you don't want to overdo it with the peas. They're nice, they taste good, and they're great for color. That's probably not enough. We'll add just maybe a tiny bit more to those, and I'll save those peas. I can eat those with something, some leftovers along the way somewhere. But that's pretty much it. Now we're going to get ready to start putting in the sauce. The sauce is that mixture of soy sauce, oyster sauce, and the cornstarch mixture, and a little bit of pepper. And adds a nice little flavor to it. You can change that around any way you want. You can add more or less of anything you want. You could even add some chili sauce or whatever, Chinese chili sauce, just you want to give this some tang. But I like it just pretty much like it is. And it's a good dish to make for a company. People are very impressed by this, although if they saw you making it, they wouldn't be so impressed because it isn't all that difficult. Well, it's just about ready now, so we'll be plating it up in a nice decorative plate, and it'll be ready for the table as an entree or a side dish. I hope you try this. It's shrimp fried rice from the Kitchen Zone. Let me know if you do try it, and if I can help you at all with anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Well, there it is. It's all done. I've transferred it into a nice decorative bowl. It looks beautiful. The color is beautiful. And let me just tell you, at the risk of sounding too sure of myself, I've tasted it, and it doesn't really even need any corrections. It tastes as good as anything you get in a Chinese restaurant around Boston, even a good one. It's very, very delicious. And if you make this, you can adapt it to whatever you like in Chinese food, and you can add a lot more other flavors and other vegetables, chicken, pork, beef, or just vegetables if you're a vegetarian. So now that's about it for the Kitchen Zone. It's been good showing you how to make shrimp fried rice, and we're going to put the ingredients up for the main dish, and when that's over, the ingredients for the sauce. And that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Kitchen Zone.